Hi there, welcome to Tarot Land Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Virgo energy. For the top row, we're going to have the actions that we'd like to take in our life when we harness high vibe Virgo energy, and if we're doing that, what the choices could be and what could be going on in our life. And the bottom row is going to be kind of shadowy Virgo energy, what we might be tempted to do if we were in our low vibe Virgo energy. Or it could be a battle within yourself, or it could be your high vibe and someone else, or people in the world you don't even know are low vibe Virgo. I'm just going to tell you the different stories that are in here. We're going to look at it in case it's a debate going on within yourself, or if it's other people in your life. High vibe Virgo energy is being willing to go within to gain insight and understanding about yourself, about your past, deal with your past pain and heartbreak, your self limiting beliefs, your fears, your insecurities, so that you can keep moving forward out of love and respect for yourself and believe in your dreams and get the justice you deserve in life. And when we're in our shadowy energy, that's our more worldly nature. It can be our, when we're not listening to our intuition and we're not loving and believing in ourselves, we can be fearful, insecure. We can tip more into maybe pride or ego, emotional defensiveness, maybe choose to make our life more about money and materialism and status and image, maybe not wanting to be vulnerable to love and settle for relationships or jobs that we shouldn't be in because we've given up on our dreams, kind of. So we're going to take a look at it from different perspectives. In the top row, we have a card that isn't showing itself. So that could be something that you'd be rejecting or just not showing people. So for high vibe Virgo energy, what's that card? Oh, a Hierophant. Hierophant, it could be if you had been someone or if someone else had been someone who, it could be that your foundation is letting go of a marriage or a job or a philosophy of life. Hierophant talks about it's Taurus energy. Some of you could be letting go of a Taurus. But the Hierophant can be about our underlying philosophy of life. And if our underlying philosophy of life is that we think we should conform maybe to worldly standards and, be really traditional, do things according to establishment, follow certain rules and regulations, could be kind of rigid, could be about money, materialism, status, and image. The people who are willing to move forward and believe in their dreams aren't concerned about conforming with societal norms in a way, because that can be restricting and limiting. It can be more about pride and ego and image. So, having tapped into your Pisces nature, your emotional, intuitive nature, and believing in your dreams and willing to move forward, you, in your Aries energy, are taking bold, confident action to let go of making your life be so structured about rules and regulations. Because if our underlying philosophy is love, I'm going to make decisions in my life about what I invest time, energy, and effort into based on listening to my intuition and love is kind of simple. If we want to conform to society, that could change all the time. Depends on who we're around. What do they think is the normal thing to do? What do they think is the acceptable thing to do? What does society at large or in my family or whatever think is the right thing to do? It's all these rules and regulations. And people who are deciding to listen to their intuition and love guide their foundation, making your life about ego and image and materialism isn't the driving factor, because in your Gemini Virgo energy, you believe you can manifest your dreams into reality. And you're dreaming and taking inspired action because you have gone within in your Virgo energy of Knight of Pentacles to gain insight and understanding about what that maybe it was all these rules and regulations that you had in your head about what life was supposed to be like, how you were supposed to act, and blah, blah, blah. And the whole thing is, the world has changed a lot, for example, over the last 2,000 years. If everybody had conformed to society and nobody was willing to believe in themselves and listen to their intuition, think of all the things that have been created in the last 2,000 years that we wouldn't have. It's like, oh, well, that's, you could have friends and family telling you, you shouldn't do that. That's crazy. We don't do that. Oh, who thinks of such things? There's no such thing as a flying airplane. We have to believe in our dreams. What we can imagine coming into reality are things that can come into reality. We manifest things into reality. And the people who believe in themselves, another way this could be read, if someone in their Aries energy, which is kind of our fire nature of our wants, our needs, our drive, our desire, if some people before were really motivated by image and status and money and materialism, they're letting that go because they've went within to gain insight and understanding. They've connected in with their emotions, their dreams, listening to their intuition instead of ignoring it. And now they believe they have all the resources, believing in themselves, believing we all have the resources every moment of every day to begin to believe that we can manifest our dreams into reality. We all have the mental, emotional things in the 3D world to start imagining what our life could be, and then we dream about what that could be, and then in the Virgo Knight of Pentacles we start to implement that day by day, slowly. The Knight of Pentacles is the only knight of the deck whose pony's legs are not moving. It moves so slowly because when we start to implement our dreams into reality, sometimes it is, if it means that we've got to change the emotions that we sit in, the thoughts that we sit within, the way we perceive ourselves in the world, that takes time to change all those things. And if you're changing a whole philosophy of life from being more worldly focused or image focused or materialistically focused as like your sense of worth and value to believe in yourself, that you have everything it takes to bring your dreams into reality, that's a slow shift. That's a major shift. And someone's foundation could be rejecting being stubborn, prideful, egotistical. And if some of that means that they have to let go of a job, let go of a person who's stubborn and prideful and more materialistic, image focused, or let go of a relationship or a marriage, they're letting it go. They are going to be a spiritual leader in the world and move forward, listening to their heart and intuition to guide them. That's awesome. And let's see what we have underneath that. Offering love to being way up in your head about love, or fears of love, or fear of being hurt, or wondering if you'll ever be loved, or something like that. Offering love to all the things that can get you more up into your mind than in your heart. When people live more from their mind, they would be maybe more fearful of love and live a life that's more trying to conform with society because you maybe have fears and insecurities within yourself, so you want other people to validate your worth and value. And you could get into relationships because of fear and anxiety. So the people who are offering love to their fear and anxiety, we go from 9 of Swords down to 3 of Swords, letting go of a 6 of Swords. If someone had been thinking that they had mental conflict and that they were going to move forward with an idea, but it really wasn't based on their intuition and about the things in life that they love, they could have been doing it because of pride or ego or status or money, they're letting that go. They're no longer going to move forward with an idea that was more based on their worldly nature instead of their intuitive, creative, inspired, loving nature. And if they've been someone that's been really fearful of being betrayed or being heartbroken, they're offering love to the whole situation. I am not going to let my fears of being heartbroken one day or other people betraying me stop me from believing in myself. And I'm going to get balance between my mind and my heart. In my Virgo nature, I'm going to go within to gain insight and wisdom about it. For some of you, you could have offered love to somebody who's really stressed about and fearful of being more balanced between their mind and their heart, and they live from their mind and make decisions out of fear and insecurity. For some of you, those people weren't willing to move forward with you, or they did move forward away from you because of their fear and insecurities or more materialistic way of living life. And so, whatever the case might be, you high vibe people are moving forward. You've gained insight and understanding about the past. Some of you, a relationship or a marriage or a job didn't work out, or a family didn't work out, and you're gaining insight and wisdom and understanding about, why didn't people work together and put in work and effort to be open and honest and loving? Well, you know, everybody's at their own point in time in life. We all have different fears and insecurities we need to work through, and sometimes we're just not on the same page at the same time. And if people aren't able to move forward with us because, there's things that they need to deal with that they can't or aren't choosing to deal with in the relationship or the work group or the friend group, we just have to accept that everybody's on their own life journey. We don't let other people's fear and insecurity get us caught up in our head and not believing in ourselves. We see the truth and we move forward. We deal with the pain and heartbreak that could have been caused from it. And if we're fearful of moving forward and being heartbroken, we try to put it in some perspective. Not everybody's going to betray us. Not everybody's going to break our heart. Not everybody's going to live more from their mind than their heart. We try to put it in perspective. And Virgo and the Four of Pentacles, Capricorn, is about getting out of our head, grounding ourselves, being more practical, being, one step at a time. Work with today and believe that if you put in the work and effort you need today, that tomorrow will take care of itself. All we can do is do what we can do. And we hope that other people who either aren't with us now and working with us, that maybe had some fears and insecurities, maybe they're in their shadow energy, still have lessons to learn in life about being open and honest and loving. We wish them peace and we don't let them keep us in negative energy. We move forward in truth and clarity, offering love to ourselves, offering love to people in our life. And, maybe something you gain insight and understanding about is that some people hold back from the truth and they live in illusion. Our shadow nature, we either see the truth that life's about love and being open, and that's taking a risk to get hurt, being vulnerable. Some people want to live in denial of that and think that when they're in a relationship in the Four of Pentacles that they can be selfish, that they can be greedy, that they don't have to open up. They want to do things the way that they've always done it, and they don't want to learn or grow or mature themselves. So they would be kind of living a little bit more in their shadow energy and holding back the truth and holding back from the truth. And they prefer to live in this alternate view of life, that life's about being selfish or being greedy, being materialistic, because the Four of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. So in shadow, it can be someone who is kind of selfish and greedy and materialistically focused. And if they were to move forward in an open, honest, loving relationship, they might fear that they won't have the stability and security they want in life. Or maybe there's other people in their life or ways of being with the Hierophant. Their view of life could be, I want to put in the work and effort to be surrounded by luxury in life so people look up to it and admire me. That's how they think that they'll have success in life. In tarot land, we would call someone like that has lessons to learn because they're not seeing things clearly. When we make decisions in our life not based on love and treating other people with love and respect and being willing to learn and grow and mature ourselves, because we're like a part of nature and we are meant to let go of old ways of being to continue to grow and mature ourselves. Some people live in the illusion that they don't have to do that and all their dreams will come into reality. But when we kind of listen to our more shadowy nature, our more immature or selfish or greedy or lazy nature, it's not going to work out the way they thought it would work out. So we could also, in the Four of Pentacles, hold back from people who had the idea to want to win at all costs. Because when we're in a relationship with people, they have the free will choice to be open and honest and loving, or they can choose to take a risk to try to make the relationship go the way they want, not being open and honest and loving. Because maybe being open and honest and loving would require them to see life from a higher perspective, to have hope and faith and belief in other people, believe in themselves, and maybe right now they don't. Shadowy Aquarius energy of the Five of Swords can be people who want to be the center of attention, and that's part of our shadow energy, that we want to be the center focus. People should be willing to do things the way we want it done. And we could have inner conflict if people see life differently than us. And the people who are in shadowy energy could decide they want people to work together in a relationship or a job the way they want it done. And it's not in a loving, open manner. So if you knew someone in your life like that, you could be holding back from communicating with them because they have this energy about them. So you're not communicating with them possibly. In shadowy King of Wands, Aries energy, male or female, it could be because the kings in tarot talk about us taking action in the world, and we all take action in masculine energy. For one, you could have been dealing with someone who has mental conflict about taking creative, inspired action in the world. That is not the status quo. High vibe Aries energy would be people who are bold and brave and confident to let go of old ways of being to move forward in their life. And this person could have a lot of mental conflict about even letting their more passionate, creative, loving nature out, because then they could get hurt. And so they prefer to be in a relationship maybe where in shadowy Aries energy is kind of about their wants, their lusts, their greed, kind of indulging themselves in a relationship. And so because of that, with the death card of Scorpio talks about our deep emotions that we have for people. You are emotionally letting go of your attachment to something in your life and for some of you, that could have been you. Some people in the world could have harnessed this shadowy energy before, where they held back from the truth because they had mental conflict about being vulnerable and stepping outside of societal norms. And if any of those people are letting go of that, they're letting go of emotionally clinging to that status quo worldly way of living life and all the rules and regulations they had in their head in order to give birth to a new life. And if it was someone else in your life, you're doing that regarding them. You're emotionally detaching from someone or something in your life because you've seen the truth. And if there was other people in your life who held back from speaking the truth, being open, being honest, being loving, you're emotionally detaching from them. The Six of Swords moves away from the Five of Swords because they've seen the truth. And, it could have been difficult for you. You wanted to manifest a dream into reality. You had a long-term plan to move forward in love. You tried to maybe offer love to some people who are really fearful of being betrayed or fear of being heartbroken. And so you gained insight and understanding, and maybe as you held back from taking any further action towards this other person could have been willing to end it and go involve themselves with the world, make their life more about money, materialism, and status and image. Maybe they're kind of emotionally shallow and they have inner conflict about dealing with their passionate nature, so they prefer to. Some of them could have been trying to be intimidating and controlling to stop you from moving forward in your life, of being bold and brave and confident within yourself. Both the King of Wands and shadowy Scorpio can be people who are trying to kind of be forceful and controlling and intimidating, because they might still want to be in a relationship with you, but they want you to cling on to them and maybe be in your shadow and be kind of codependent or fearful or wanting to stay in a relationship with them because of status and image and money and materialism. And you're like, I have seen life in my Aquarius energy from a higher perspective, and I might have passion for you and I might love this job or love this relationship. But if you're not willing to emotionally detach from your old ways of being that make you hold back, or you want to keep clinging to other people in your life and not like detach from them and be more independent from them, and quit clinging to these old ways of being or these old foundations in your life, or you're more materialistic or prideful or stubborn, whatever nature, I'm moving on. Because it was causing you mental conflict to be in a relationship with someone who tries to hold back from being truthful and open and loving. They want to move forward. Some people in your life that are in shadowy energy, we either see the truth, or in our pride and ego, like our shadow side, we think we know better. I don't have to be vulnerable. I could get hurt doing that. And so you've seen the truth of some people who right now could be holding back, who aren't speaking the truth, who are turning their back on going within to gain insight and wisdom about their own fears and insecurities, or making you an offer to move forward in a job or a relationship. And so you see the truth. We either see the truth or we live in illusion. You're not in illusion about some people in your life who are stressed about, maybe Three of Swords is Libra energy. Maybe they have a lot of stress and anxiety about being just and fair in a relationship, because being just and fair is being open and honest and vulnerable. Some people like to control things, and they kind of like to maybe be the boss and be the center of attention and maybe be intimidating and controlling in a relationship, because that gives them a sense of, like, I can't get hurt that way because I'm controlling everything and everyone. And it's like, it's sad to see people imprisoned by their fear or their stress or their anxiety or their doubt, But we need to put in work and effort in truth. And even though it causes us mental conflict, it's like, I want my dreams to come into reality, and being and working with people who turn their back on going within to invest time, energy, and effort to deal with their own fears and insecurities in order to move forward with me. We can't force people to go within to work through their fears and insecurities, or their selfishness, or their greed, or their need to control, or their addictions, or whatever it could be, So eventually we have to say, like, I wish you peace, but I'm moving on. I hope to see you in my future, maybe, so that we can be friends. I hope you're out of your mental prison, but I don't want to repeat this type of relationship dynamic and keep living in this type of relationship dynamic. I am letting this relationship dynamic go. I'm going to emotionally be willing to step forward in my life And I am going to take creative inspired action about the fact that I could have been dealing with someone again. The Seven of Swords person is holding the Five of Swords. They have mental conflict about dealing with their own inner conflict in the Two of Swords. Is it money and materialism? Is it pride and ego? Is it being bossy and controlling? Is it being self-protective? Or is it love? And they seem to have some mental conflict between the two. So you're taking creative action about that in order to deal with your own inner conflict, to see life from a higher perspective, so that you can keep moving forward and you're not stuck in illusion or deception. And you are going to learn the lesson you're meant to learn from this life experience, so that if anybody tries to repeat that type of relationship dynamic with you again, you're going to be like, well, nope, been there, done that. That is not okay. There's something wrong here. I can't work with people that are like this. You know, if you're being manipulative, or if you're being deceptive, or if you're being, I don't know, bossy or controlling, I'm not doing that. And you're going to move forward being very stable and grounded and practical in your life. And I see King of Pentacles as Capricorn energy, and high vibe Capricorn energy is doing the work to free yourself from things or people or jobs or ways of thinking or perceiving or illusions, fears and insecurities that previously held you back, could have limited you, could have oppressed you, could have enslaved you. And you're taking that lesson that you've learned to emotionally mature yourself and nurture yourself and invest in yourself. So you would be someone who's very balanced and aligned within yourself. Emotionally, if you're going to present yourself in the world as being a King of Pentacles, as a very like mature, stable, nurturing, loving person, because the King and Queen of Pentacles are the married suit of the deck. So, you know, hopefully you're mature and you've been willing to learn and grow and mature yourself, so that if you were to invest in projects and children and things like that, that you can help them grow and nurture, you can grow and nurture them because you have grown and nurtured yourself. And so you would authentically be being yourself in the world. The action you take in the world is truly reflective of who you are. The people who might be in their shadow energy are people who present themselves in the world, male or female, as a King of Pentacles, but internally, they could be more emotionally focused on working with the things of the world, pride, ego, image, money, instead, or even ego, instead of love. So they present themselves as like a loving, nurturing family person, but internally they haven't actually learned the lesson. They have things of the world that they hold on to. You know, the true gift is the gift that we find within ourselves, of learning to love ourselves and believe in ourselves. And some people don't think they ever have to gain insight and wisdom about themselves. They have things of the world, or they maybe think they're very attractive or something, that they don't think they have to grow or learn or mature themselves. And as you move forward, you want to align with other people in your life who are also people who've nurtured and grown and matured themselves. And maybe some of you will be moving into a relationship or a marriage and have a brand new beginning, where people who are emotionally independent, who have learned to love themselves and learn lessons in life, offer themselves compassion and forgiveness for the mistakes they've made. But the thing is, if we learn the lesson we were meant to learn from that mistake, you know, we used it to grow and mature our foundation. If we keep making mistakes and we never learn the lessons we were meant to learn from it, then we keep repeating a pattern over and over and over and expecting like a different outcome. And that's the definition of insanity, you know? So people who have learned to be emotionally independent from the world, not codependent on other people, and wanting to indulge themselves in relationships, are actually emotionally mature, know how to fill their own cup so they can give emotionally to others. People in their Leo energy have tempered their more prideful, egotistical, worldly nature with love and compassion and respect and character and integrity. And they let love and intuition guide them so that they don't act out of their more base nature of fear and insecurity, because they want to have long-term emotionally fulfilling relationships. And to think that you can be in a long-term emotionally fulfilling relationship and think that you can hold back the truth and want to win at all costs, and it's all about your wants and needs and lust and greed, and be emotionally shallow and think that people are going to want to move forward with that idea, yeah, no. People are going to put an end to that. And they're maybe going to communicate to the people in their life that try to emotionally confuse them and deceive them and manipulate them that I'm moving on. I've learned my lesson from dealing with people who are manipulative or deceptive or bossy or controlling or stubborn or prideful. Maybe people who weren't high vibe Taurus energy. They weren't willing to put work and effort into being loyal and committed and dedicated and being a true spiritual leader in the world, someone who takes action out of love. And instead, they could have been people who tried to manipulate a dream by offering money and things of the world to people so that people in turn would offer them love, because they're really stressed and heartbroken and they don't want to go within to gain insight and wisdom, so they hold back the truth. But they could hope that if they offer you a new stable beginning, that it'll cause you a lot of mental conflict about moving forward in your life, because they might know that you would like this job or you would like this relationship, and that you might have passion for them or it. But I think you're going to not get up in your head about it. The Five of Swords talks about not being too much up in your head, not too much down in your feelings. You know, you're holding, you've healed. The Five of Swords comes after the Four of Swords. You've meditated on the truth. You've healed from past pain and heartbreak. And you have the idea that you want to take bold, confident, brave action in your life to be moving forward with people who are willing to emotionally detach from their old ways of being, who move forward in truth. And if someone is trying to make you an offer that might look really stable, really abundant, like your dreams could come into reality, but maybe they don't want to maybe be really in a relationship or a marriage, that you, if your intuition is telling you this person is being manipulative, maybe making you an offer because they're really stressed and heartbroken, but they still want to hold back the truth. They still have an energy about them of wanting to win at all costs, and maybe they want to take passionate action with you. And you might say, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not indulging in my shadow nature and letting my lust or my greed or my pride or my ego or whatever run my life. I'm moving forward in truth, and I'm closing out that cycle. And unless you're willing to take creative, inspired action about your own mental conflict and wanting to live in denial of the truth, then I'm moving on. And I'll probably find other loving, nurturing people that I'll have new beginnings with. And I'm sure I will have emotional fulfillment with people who have tempered their fears and insecurities or their manipulative, indulgent ways. And I'm sure I'll be happy. Because I can't be happy with people who think because they have money and materialism, that's what motivates them, to think that you, in your pride and ego, would want to be in a relationship with them and become a marriage partner to them because it provides stability and security and image and status. That's what makes them happy. It's being with emotionally balanced, loving, kind, fair, just people that is going to bring true happiness. And if this person isn't that, And they think because they have these things of the world or good looking or whatever they think they got, that they can offer you those things and that you'll just try to be strong in a relationship with them and turn your back on having the life that you deserve. No. You have become enlightened to the truth. And you see life from a new perspective. You see what's possible and what could be when we tap into our dreams and imagination and not feeling stuck and limited and in our fear or in our anxiety. You know, the world's our oyster. Life is an adventure to be lived. But in order to live life as an adventure, people have to be emotionally balanced. They have to balance out their more wanting, needy, fearful, insecure, selfish, greedy, lazy nature with being just and fair and loving and acting with character and integrity. So I think you have balanced out your strong emotions that you've had about the past. You've reconciled yourself with the past so that basically when you think of the past, you can focus more on the, why waste your time? We could all every day sit on things of the past that made us mad, that when people hurt us, or we can just choose that I don't choose to sit in those emotions. It's over, it's done. The only thing I can do about it is learn the lesson I was meant to learn about people who are hurtful or unkind or manipulative, and let the past be and look to the future to see my dreams come into reality. And have good boundaries against within yourself that in your future you want love. You want people who are willing to be held accountable for their actions. People who choose to invest in love. People who've invested the time, energy, and effort in the chariot to take the reins of their free will dualistic nature, to keep them in balance so that they're more fearful or insecure or selfish or greedy or bossy or manipulative nature isn't running their life on into the ditch, and the other people who have to deal with them in life kind of into the ditch with them. But some people have a lot of fear and insecurity of investing time, energy, and effort into offering love and compassion and forgiveness to their own fears and insecurities to get out of their head. Six of Pentacles. It takes investing time, energy, and effort in the 3D world to get balanced within yourself. It takes time, energy, and effort reflecting on the truth of past pain and heartbreak. Past pain and heartbreak we could have caused other people because we were in our shadow, and how other people could have hurt us in our past that therefore then made us emotionally defensive and made us operate from our shadow. If people aren't willing to invest time, energy, and effort into healing, they might think, oh, money and materialism will make me feel better. Getting in a relationship will make me feel better. The only way to have a stable foundation within yourself is to do the work it takes to get stable and grounded within yourself, to heal from your self-limiting beliefs, to heal from your past pain and heartbreak, to heal from your illusions and fantasies of thinking, can't I be bossy and controlling and manipulative and deceitful and deceptive in a relationship and still get my way? No. People out of self-love are going to distance themselves from people who, in shadowy Aries energy, don't want to go within, maybe too prideful, too egotistical. Maybe they thought their dreams were going to come into reality, repeating a same old pattern of the past, maybe one that they grew up with. And it's like, if that doesn't involve gaining insight and wisdom about yourself, about your past, learning lessons in life, and moving forward in love, then I wish you peace, but I'm going to move forward with the people in my life, the friends, the family, who do that, who value the relationship enough to not make it all about them, who are willing to keep investing in a loving, just, and fair, and balanced relationship. So, you might have someone. It's either dealing with your own past pain and heartbreak within yourself and departing from that and dealing with your own stress and anxiety, or it was someone else in your life. If it is just within yourself, We're all tempted to repeat patterns of the past because we know how to do that. Been there, done that. I know how to work with those kind of people. I know how to work at that kind of job. I don't want to grow. I don't want to deal with my fears or my insecurity or my anxiety or my whatever. you know, some people don't want to put in this Eight of Pentacles is Virgo energy. Some people would prefer just to focus on money and materialism and status and image and not put in the work and effort to gain insight and wisdom about yourself. Kind of makes me think of a quote that was something like, "No," I Googled it one time, something like "know yourself," and it pulled up all these quotes, but there was ones like "know yourself and know the world." When you have a clearer understanding of why you do the things you do and why you have done the things you've done, and you try to gain insight and understanding about why other people do what they do, when you understand yourself, it's so much easier to maybe understand why other people do what they do. But anyway, there could be some people who could be tempted to just focus on money and materialism or get in a relationship that is more about focusing on money and materialism, where they can kind of be an immature player and they don't have to work together with people from a deep emotional foundation and put an end to their more, I want it all about me, because Four of Wands is Aries energy. Aries energy is the King of Wands and like the Emperor and the Fool. In high vibe, it's people who are willing to be leaders in the world. Oh, we have it right here. Some people, though, don't want to make decisions that are best for everyone involved. They want it to be all about their wants and needs. They're the boss, male or female. And they don't want to put in the work and effort it would take to be more emotionally balanced, get out of their head, get out of their pride and ego, get out of their emotional defensiveness to make decisions that would be best for everyone. And so for some people, they could have backstabbed and betrayed a relationship, a marriage, a workplace, an institution, for a friendship group. The Four of Wands is coming together with people in joy and celebration. They could have backstabbed people that they could have moved forward with in a long-term emotionally loving relationship. But if they fear that if they work together with other people from a more emotionally vulnerable place, that they could be backstabbed and betrayed again, living more from their mind and their heart, letting their fears and insecurities stop them from having their dreams come into reality. Do we let our mind run our life? Do we let our fear run our life? Do we let our emotional defensive nature run our life? Our pride, our ego? So if we work together with people, and people, who knows why some people can go off and go get an addiction. Some people can go do, who knows what? Who knows why people do what they do? But to not be willing to work together with people from a deep emotional foundation because of a fear of what might happen that may never happen, it's kind of like being really pessimistic instead of optimistic. But that is an indication that when we don't listen to our intuition and we get more caught up in our mind and our fear and our insecurities and our self-limiting beliefs, we're not listening to our heart and our intuition to guide us, and we are going to make foolish decisions, because love is the truth that will guide us forward. If we act with character and integrity and love and openness and honesty, and people eventually, for some reason, who knows what happens, that people kind of go off the rails, so be it. If you believe that you're strong enough and you believe in yourself and you believe in your dreams, you believe you have it within you to pick yourself up and put in the work and effort to be a leader in the world, even when foundations fall down, even when hard times come upon you, and you deal with the regret of that relationship, and out of love and belief in yourself and hope and faith and belief in your dreams, and being able to nurture and love yourself, you keep moving forward in love. You've just learned a lesson that, I got to be more careful of the people I invest my time, energy, and effort into. We meet people all the time that, As time goes by, we realize that, oh, yeah, you view life differently than me. Oh, yeah. Is that what you think is just and fair? Yeah, I don't think that is just and fair. Is that your idea of a friendship or a romantic relationship? Yeah, I have a completely different viewpoint, you know? And we continue to invest in every day being grateful and gratitude and joy and working on the relationships with the loving people in our life. And we believe that if we keep taking our traits and characteristics forward, that we will, you know, have the happiness. Some of the people that are in shadow are tempted to not tell the truth. So maybe if some of them did backstab and betray people and they still don't want to tell the truth, those people in the 7 of Pentacles might, which is also Taurus energy, might decide to turn their back on a dream relationship or a happy loving family or group, and instead they're going to make an offer, a new emotional beginning to someone who might be in regret because the relationship didn't work out, and see if that person will get in a relationship with them. Some people have decided they want to focus on maybe having a certain status or image in the world, maybe focus on money and materialism. And because of that, that's why they were willing to end a relationship or a marriage. They might have regrets about it. The happy family people could have offered this person, continuing even today, offering these people love, because some of you, it could be your child, it could be your parent, it could be a sibling, it could just be a friend or a coworker who just kind of acts immature or prideful or egotistical or selfish or greedy. But the other person, in 7 of Pentacles, it can be people in their Taurus Hierophant energy, a philosophy of life, is like, no, I work with the things of the world. I don't work with like maybe connecting with my emotions and my intuition. I am going to focus, because I get hurt doing that. So I'm going to focus on investing in money and materialism and looking like a boss in the world, like a person of high status. And they think that that might put an end to their being in regret. Maybe they think that if they have this image or status, I don't know, maybe in their mind they think that the happy loving people will invest in offering them a new beginning in love. But I think the happy loving people just basically kind of wish them peace and love, but they don't want to maybe get back in a relationship with someone who's kind of immature or bossy or controlling and wants to repeat patterns of the past where they can backstab and betray people and cause regret. And they, in their pride and ego, maybe think, if I keep having status and image, they'll keep wanting to be in a relationship with me because they'll want like the status and image and money and materialism. It's like, no. But, or maybe they think there'll be somebody else who will offer them a new emotional beginning, and they think that'll make them happy. But we're reading the cards that are in shadowy Virgo energy. I think that's people who are imprisoned by their own fear, their own insecurity, their own pride, their own ego. People who are defensive of being open and honest and emotionally vulnerable sabotage relationships. Some people, the bottom of the deck is the reason for the reading. Some of you could have been in a relationship or a marriage with someone, but because someone else offered them a new emotional beginning, they let go of this relationship. And you had to keep moving forward, believing in yourself and your dreams, to believe that you could manifest your dreams into reality. And you took the lesson you were meant to learn from that life experience. You're not as naive and as gullible as you were before, And sometimes we just can't tell. You could have been in a relationship with someone that seemed loving, that seemed all these things, But when it got to maybe where the relationship had to go to the next level, where people were required to gain some insight and understanding about themselves to just mature and grow the relationship, they could have had a lot of stress and anxiety about that. And who knows why, but then they could have decided, nope, I'm going to make a decision more from my mind than my heart. I'm going to hide that I'm kind of maybe being selfish and greedy and only thinking of my own best interests. And I have the idea that because I have mental conflict, I'm just going to try to take some action that makes them feel better at the moment, because they're not willing to, maybe they've always been somebody who kind of emotionally invests in staying in a fear or insecurity or pride or ego or living their life more from their mind than their heart. You know, whichever side of our dualistic nature we feed gets bigger. And if they feed, I have to be logical and practical, I have to make decisions based on like stability or security, and status and image are the driving factor. Well, that's the one that takes precedence in their brain, you know? And they could have decided to be emotionally cold and decided to move forward with their own ideas. And that was to end taking creative, inspired action in a relationship because they have mental conflict about building their life on a foundation of love and respect, maybe for others. Maybe, you know, the person holding the Five of Swords, that can be Aquarius energy, where, you know, they really either want to be the center of attention in a relationship where they don't have to take other people into account because everyone else makes them the center of attention and what they say goes. Maybe they're self-centered. Or, you know, the Aquarius star can be, I really want to look really super successful in the world. And I want to make my life all about that. And I don't want to, I don't know, just have to think about other people and make decisions that are best for everyone. I want to really focus on my career. So they weren't willing to move forward. The only thing is, they were deceptive and manipulative about it. They didn't tell the truth. And so, you know, the whole thing is, if people want to be open and honest, then that, you know, doesn't leave people emotionally confused about the truth. But if someone else, either they want to live more from their mind and be more emotionally shallow because it's less confusing, or they want to focus on money and materialism, or someone else offered them a love offer. And this person decided maybe, you know, the Knight of Wands can be a player energy. It's like, yep, I'm going to turn my back on people I could work with from a deep emotional foundation. I'm going to backstab a relationship, a marriage, a family, because if I go work with someone else or my own shadowy nature, maybe there was someone in their life who they view as having a lot of status or image or wealth or power. And maybe that person had experienced some type of disruption in their life and they were in regret. And this person wanted to go offer them a new emotional beginning and put in work and effort with them because they thought, living more from their mind than their heart, that that was a good investment financially. And maybe with the happy family people, they didn't think that would give them the financial foundation they wanted. So because of that, some of you high vibe people had to let go of somebody who harnesses shadowy Taurus energy. Very much more worldly and materialism driven. And you're manifesting your dreams into reality. You're moving forward with a new love beginning. It does cause you some stress and anxiety, but you'll get to a place where you're balanced between your mind and your heart. You'll get the insight about the past. You will put in the work and effort to see the truth of people in your life who either hold back their creative, inspired, loving nature, or people who choose to win at all costs and maybe use their sexuality to get in a relationship for money and materialism status. And you're just going to emotionally detach from it and move on and let it be over so that your past no longer dictates your future. And you are going to move forward. And in positive, the Seven of Swords can be that you're mentally strategizing how to just move forward in your life so that you can have that new, stable, emotionally fulfilling, loving, stable, strong life and family that you want in your life. So I think we covered all the stories in there. Before I turned on the camera, I shuffled the surrender deck. You got surrender to what is. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. You know, we got to live with the truth and not be in illusions about people. If people have showed us that their free will decision was that they're just not ready to move forward for whatever reason. I think everyone would move forward and be open and honest and loving if they could be, but their own fear, their own insecurities, and then it manifests itself because people don't, they're not like telling people, I have a lot of fear and insecurity. I'm so afraid of being hurt. It kind of manifests how they mask it in their life is by being like kind of prideful or egotistical or greedy or superficial and saying like money's the most important thing to them. And it's really, you know, they don't even know the truth. Those things have taken over their life because that way they didn't have to focus on being emotionally vulnerable in a relationship. The reason you got the surrender to what is because of surrender to effortlessness. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. We have to accept that everybody is where they're at. And if people come into our life, if it's brothers, sisters, children, parents, family members, friends who for some reason aren't willing to move forward and keep working together with us in life, if we try to offer love and compassion to the situation, that some people either just in their fear or their insecurity, our shadow nature can be addictions to money, ego. What are you addicted to that you think will provide relief and comfort and make your life better at the expense of not loving and believing in yourself and being open and honest and vulnerable? So we offer love to it and we let it go. I also, for this round of 12 zodiac signs, I'm pulling out a card out of the Rumi Oracle deck. I shuffle it, and you got Sacred Phoenix Heart. Oh, Rumi is a poet from the 13th century. It says, reason says there is no way out. Love says there is a way, and I have traveled it many times. So the explanation says, perhaps you are scratching your head quizzically or are in deep despair because you have met a dead end, a frowning no, or a dismissive laugh upon your quest. Love guides us through travails that seem improbable, if not impossible. It does not shy away from any challenge or any cause. Love says there is always another way. So, when you keep moving forward, believing in yourself and not letting people who might have backstabbed and betrayed you keep you in negative energy, the whole reason these other people who are giving in to their more shadowy nature might be because they were backstabbed and betrayed in a relationship or a family when they were a child, whenever. Yeah, because the Six of Pentacles or the Six of Cups can be maybe a Scorpio backstabbed them in a family. Maybe a Scorpio and their family told them to backstab a relationship or a marriage and come back and reunite with them. Maybe they're more attached to their original family or friend group or former work group or whatever. They're attached to a foundational way of working together with people that they don't want to let go of. And that foundation can either, it's something in shadow. It's fear, pride, ego, defensiveness, or materialism. And just like the divine has a plan for humanity for it to keep evolving and growing, and just like the world can throw anything they want at the divine's like, yep, I can work with that. That's the attitude we have to say. No one and nothing can stop us from having our dreams come into reality if we let the past be what it was, and it doesn't have to have any more power, impact, or influence on our decisions and the ones that we make moving forward. When we choose to keep making decisions, believing in ourselves, coming from a place of love, offering love and respect to others, we will find other people in the world who want to reciprocate a loving relationship. Sadly, some people in our life aren't able to do that, or they're just kind of immature and indulgent and kind of more about indulging themselves at the moment. So hopefully one day they'll all grow up and, you know, we'll see. Okay, there you go, Virgo. I wish you all peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.